banana slam jam.
So Eri and I, guys, have just been talking about what it means to make space and what it means to take space on the map. And what the general idea of Dota is that both teams have their half of the map, and you have heroes that look to play on the opponent's side of the map. They look to play the more aggressive parts of your side of the map, such that the space makers are ones that are going to try to expand the area in which you can farm. While the space takers are going to be the ones that take the safest farm on the map, and that's just what they do.
Yes.
So when you're a carry, most of the time you are a space taker. When you are the guy that's supposed to get the most farm, because usually the space takers, they're farming the safest area. So the whole idea is that they don't die, while they're farming. That's why it's, the ideal. So oftentimes, when you're Dire, the safest area is the triangle. And when you're Radiant, it's also the triangle. It's usually the safest area. It's a combination of high grounds and how difficult it is to invade this area, and also that usually they have to kill your buildings to get here. It's kind of awkward if this tower is alive and this tower is alive to kind of just walk up here. It's it's really hard.
Not doable.
And they can just protect it with one ward. It's one ward would see literally anything that's invading. So with that in mind, guys, one question I've been asked a shit ton as a carry is, why did I choose to stay in my safe lane as opposed to farming my triangle when I'm having a really good start? And so what we just saw in Eri's game is that him and his PA won their lanes really hard, but won their lane really hard, but the other two lanes lost. So what happens here is, if I'm a carry and I'm the only one that won my lane, if we're talking about space making and space taking, if I'm the one that won my lane and I start farming the triangle, what do you think is going to happen to your team? They're literally just going to get stuck in the triangle with you. Because you're the strongest, most farmed hero on your team, and you're sitting in the safest part of the map. So a lot of space making and space taking is determined by whoever the most farmed, strongest hero on your team is. However far up he's allowed to play is going to dictate how far up the rest of his team's allowed to play. So if your strongest hero is sitting in the triangle, this is what the map's going to look like for you guys, where you're all just sitting in the triangle together.
I'm so sorry. This decision by PA wasn't optimal?
It's bad, of course. Yes, very bad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what I've emphasized to carry players, if they're having a really good lane, this is what I mean by the importance of relieving pressure as a way to make space for your team. If PA defended her top tower and the enemy team had to consistently bring 3 heroes to try to kill this tower, then she's farming here and her team is farming here.
Oh.
But because she's the strongest hero and she's farming here, nobody's getting this.
Nobody.
That's just how it goes. But it could be her. So theoretically speaking, is it better for PA to be farming here if she's the only hero in the entire game? It's yes, it is the most efficient individual play to be farming here. But if her farming here means none of this gets farmed, overall, for the team's net worth, it is incredibly detrimental that she farms here. So the way I look at the map, and I've explained a lot, but just to rehash in this video, we're just coming from Dire's side. Pretty much Radiant is mirrored, so diagonal it to the other side. We're starting with the safest area, and we're gonna go to the most dangerous from there. So safest, and we're gonna just, as I go down this path, we're becoming more and more dangerous, guys. Okay?
Yes. No one is there.
That's how it works. That's about the danger path. Start of the path is a 1, end of the path is a 10. That's pretty much how it works for Dota. And the funny thing is when you see people cutting waves and doing some crazy shit on the opponent's side of the map, is because they've assessed this entire area and they're like, I can't play any of this. They're like, so they'll start doing some crazy stuff way over here, just be like, well, if I can't farm my side, I guess I'll make them chase me all the way over here. And usually they end up dying, but it's you got to get creative sometimes. But the point that I'm trying to make is I get asked so often why carries stay in their own safe lane if they're having a good start. And I hope this answers the question. I've been asked that question so many times, and people just don't seem to get that you are making space as a carry if you defend your safe lane tower and occupy this hyper dangerous area. You are making space.
You're enabling your teammates.
You are enabling your teammates. And the point is, I don't want you guys to like stay in your safe lane and feed. But you need to be forced out of your safe lane. Whether that's them bringing 3 heroes, whether or not the offlaner getting level 6 is enough to scare you. I want you guys to stay here as long as humanly possible. That is the goal. And the funny thing is, if you watch somebody like Mason, his hero pool is like Lifestealer, Ursa, Weaver. Those are like 3 of his main heroes. Troll, Warlord. All of these heroes, the one thing they share in common is he 10th picks them, wins his lane, and he stays here for like 15 freaking minutes and never loses his tower.
Wow.
That's so you can actually learn a lot from watching him as a way to play the game ideally from a carry. That means your lane went well. You're free farming. You're strong as hell. You can play wherever you want, and that's where he chooses to play.
What I love from what you're saying, Coach, is you're also enabling your teammates that way.
You are.
Other enemies are forced to go to you, and now you get more of the map. You're like, oh, we can now get our farm. We can pressure towers because there's less of you here. And
Absolutely.
now we can start moving around.
So
the map
maybe
better.
your Quap can kill the Kunkka if there's 3 of you and only Kunkka. But if PA's farming here the way she is, that means that Kunkka and his team is never going to be alone. They can do whatever they want. They're going to be doing this.
Yeah.
And all of you guys are going to be the ones that, like, so what's going to end up happening is either you guys are going to try to spread out and, like, just scrounge for any farm you can get, or they're just going to fight you 5-on-5 when they're ahead by 3,000 gold. And it's like, they're probably going to win because they have 3,000 gold advantage over you. So,
you know what's so
go ahead.
Go on, Coach. Sorry, keep going.
No, so what I was going to say is that the beauty of this type of situation is that I was watching our TZ stream the other day, and the funny thing about it was there was one game on Terrorblade that he was 0-0-0. Like, he had 0 deaths, 0 kills, 0 assists. And people were like, nice impact from a carry Omega lol. And it's like, he said, if you're a 0-0-0 Terrorblade at 20 minutes, you are a boss. You know why? Because that means you've been playing the super annoying parts of the map, and the enemy team's never allowed to fight you. Because you're forcing them to, like, react to what you're doing all the time. And what people don't realize is they think a carry has to be like 6-0-10 to be impactful. If you're taking super dangerous farm, and you're farming efficiently, you're freaking owning as a carry. Like, that's like the dream. So this is like, Eri was basically wondering, we won our lane so hard, why did this game get out of control so quickly? I don't understand. So what we told him as a support was he needed to, once he gave his carry, the Space Taker, a good start, a 2-level advantage on the Mars, he needed to prioritize his Space Makers and start giving them help. Start checking runes for the Queen of Pain, maybe ganking for the Doom when he's level 6. These are the things supports have impact on. And that's really important for you guys to recognize, because if you're still helping the PA, you're helping the guy that's going to farm Ancients. And eventually, if you only help him at 12 minutes into the game, your team's going to be farming Ancients together. That's what you guys are going to be doing. And it's a whole team effort. And that's like really what I wanted to end this on, is it is a team effort. Everyone plays a role. I always get asked why carries stay in the safe lane. I hope this answers it. If you liked this video, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that shenanigans, because at the end of the day, YouTube does care about that. You may not care about it, I may not care about it, but the YouTube algorithm does. So please do.